Ba-da-da-boom.
Um, yeah, I guess we're connecting. Look at us go.
Look at us go, man. I am so happy to be here. What are we?
Are you? Are you?
I am. Well, just getting up in the
Um,
morning and being alive and looking at the good things in life every morning.
well,
Uh,
that's exciting.
and coffee.
Good news, we're up to 180 subscribers on the channel. 5 people watched the last video. I mean, that's exciting.
Well, this time maybe six.
You got to shoot for six.
Gonna shoot for six. It's a six shooter. I'm touch a pistol. At least I'm armed. Here's a
I
little
mean,
punch for you
you
this
got
morning.
that all day, huh?
Yeah. Dale. All day long.
So what are we talking about today? Understanding your surroundings?
Yeah. Under,
What does that mean to you, Jeff?
well, understanding your surroundings can mean a whole bunch of different things, but what it means to me is understanding where you're at in your life at the moment you're there. So basically, what is your surroundings and what are you doing with them? I mean, you know what I'm doing this week. We talked about it. I'm working on my insurance on my home. I'm working on Social Security. I'm working on all, each one of these bits are another part. It's sort of like AI. You've got AI, you've got each one of its little engines are going to do something for you. And each one of these things that I address and make better is going to help my finances in one way or another. If I can get my insurance where it needs to be for the appropriateness of my house or houses, of course. So I don't I'm probably overpaying on one of my houses, so I want to deal with that. Also, anything in the business I'm overpaying for, I want to deal with that. So, uh, being knowing where you're at and where you're going, it's sort of like what you're doing with AI every single day. You get up and you put out a video or two or three on AI, and so knowing where you're at. That sound good?
There you go.
Did I get a B?
I feel so enlightened now, Jeff. Thanks, man.
No, well, I think everybody, not everybody, but you might want to step back and see where you're at and see, like even with finances, most of the time you can negotiate with almost all your bills, not all of them, but you can go to your phone bill and say, hey, and they'll probably work with you a little bit. And some of them aren't negotiable, but a lot of them are. And I would say almost 70% you can negotiate something if you wanted to. Now, is it worth your time? Depending. Uh, for me, it's worth my time right now because I'm trying to establish my next step, you know, where I want to be in 10 years, what I, where do I want my millions to go? you know,
In one of my videos that I was learning yesterday, it explained a lot. So you can have the most valuable information on the planet, but if the people in front of you aren't trying to get to where you're going, it's worthless. And value is like it's kind of like beauty is in the eye of the beholder, right? So, um, there was 4 different ways of understanding how like marketing works, and I guess there's an age-old story that people use in marketing. So if you're on island one and you're trying and like you're happy there, right? You're just on an island, you're by yourself, and you're happy there. There's no way you're going to get anybody to move, right? They don't want to move. They're happy with where they're at. Yet, if you are trying to get to island two, where there's a lot of people there and a way to grow, then the person on island one doesn't care. Like if you come by and you give him a boat, right? He's not going to care about how the boat was made or how much time you spent making the boat or even being educated on how the boat freaking works. Like, I'm going to give you whatever money that you want because I want to get to island two. I mean, me, uh, I would think people would want to know how that boat operates, but apparently they don't. They just want to get to island two and believe that you're the one that's going to get them to island two. And I thought by educating people on how the boat was made was like the way to go. But apparently they just want to know that you know how to get to island two and they'll go with you. Okay. Well, what are different ways that you could, convince somebody that you know how to get to island two? You could show people that, hey, look, I've been to island two before.
I have the boat,
And I have the boat.
and
And
I'm
where,
going to
where the hell
drive
do you
it.
think I came from?
I'm going to sell it to the other side. All you have to do is get on the boat with me, and I have all your it's solved. You said you want to get to the other side. I have the information, and I know how to sell the boat, and I do have the boat. So all you have to do is pay me, and you can take the ride with me, and I'll bring you over there. And this other guy is standing outside the boat, and he says, "No, no, no! I'm going to build my own boat. I'm going to build my own boat, and I'm going to take the people over there."
So, so that was one of the stories that I heard yesterday that I was like, well, that kind of makes a lot of sense. And sometimes maybe you know this information already, but like you have other people tell you in different ways, right? So we know from NLP, people learn at least four different ways. Some people are auditory, some people are visual, some people are tactile, kinesthetics, at least three different ways. So like we experience the world through our five senses. So in order to get somebody to move, you have to have something that they believe that you have to talk to them first in a way that makes sense to them. And then number two, they have to believe you're the person that can do it. And I guess that would be called prestige in your category, right? Because there was something else I learned yesterday. Again, this is all about understanding your surroundings. Like you can actually present something to somebody who actually has the money or the capital to buy it, but they still won't buy it because it doesn't make sense um, for the capital that they have, right? Their money would be better spent somewhere else. So in the example he used in the video was, well, I can go to a family, a lower income family, and I could charge them $1,000 on how to, be able to feed their family of five or whatever, um, at a cheaper rate, right? Like at a rate, and and I'll make like everything lines up, right? Like, oh, I could buy this class, I could spend $1,000. The class will actually pay for itself from what I learned from it. Yet, maybe that $1,000 is better spent, you know, I don't know, for whatever else, right? So your market also has to have the expendable capital in order to buy your product as well. So ask yourself, who are you hanging around? Are you hanging around the right people? Right? Are you going to be able to get to where you're going, or are you talking to the right people or selling the right people on your product? This also goes back to a story that I had when someone called me up and they were like, "Hey, I want to go to these hotels and start selling photo booths, and I want to explain to them how much more money could be made by having a photo booth in the lobby." So one of the first lessons I learned in sales or marketing or whatever entrepreneur life is that it's way harder to convince somebody that they need a product and then convince them that your product is the one they're going to go with. So it's like you're manifesting something out of nothing, which all all stars align when somebody's already interested in a certain product, and then they just have to choose, or just decide you're the one that they're going to get versus like, oh, I might need that. No, now I got to get you to give it to me. So it's about understanding your surroundings and whether or not, if you can make shifts, because making identity shifts is, I Tony Robbins can do it. He's really good at it, right? Like he could probably do it instantly. People that study under him probably have to sit you down for 3 to 5 hours to finally get you to move, depending on, what their skill level is, how their language patterns are, and if you're, in hypnosis or whatever. And then I just see a lot of people, once you start learning all these different tricks and or how to get somebody to move, and you just start seeing the world differently, and then you see people go into situations and then they come back and be like, oh, well, there's just no way that this is going to happen. And then when you start understanding these tools and how they work, you're like, no, dummy, you don't go in like that. But again, calling somebody a dummy, they'll probably shut down. But anyway, that's what my inner self wants to say, because this. Okay, so I've been working at being a public speaker at this DJ Expo for quite some time. I didn't understand what my angle was. Like I didn't have language pattern, knowledge as many times I've been working on it. Yet, I think I landed it. And that also comes with other people telling me, "Oh yeah, he'll never respond to your emails. The guy's slow to respond. It probably won't happen." They don't understand what I understand, and all the steps I took to put myself again. What is it? The live lucky hat. You only get lucky if you're in the position to be lucky in, right? So if you have the knowledge, the skills, and you're in the right spot, you're more likely. You're going to hit the ball if you're at the plate swinging, right? So I think I landed it. Stay tuned, and then I'll tell you how I did it and all the different, you know, I don't know, tricks, techniques, understanding human psychology, all the things I did to get the spot. And I didn't do it all by myself. I had some help. But the person who helped me also told me that he would never respond to me. And now I have a long email chain of correspondence of somebody telling me it would never happen. So yes, it can happen. But if you're not opening your eyes, like a lot of DJs, and this is what annoys me the most. They look like this, and they don't even know they're doing it. This is how DJs in the DJ community. It's a lot of Facebook groups. They're like this because they can't see anything else. That's where I'm at. Understand your surroundings. Are you looking like this? Or are you going like this?
I like that. I do like that metaphor there. You know, are they just are they so deep inside that they can't open up their mind to expand to a different thoughts, letting other, you had four paths to that other island. Which one are you going to take? You know, uh,
Yeah, boat. It was probably not the only way to get there.
yeah. Well, you got a boat, and somebody's got a, maybe
Teleport,
a balloon,
bridge, swim.
a bridge,
Like
a what's that? A little jet ski.
a
There's
moonwalk.
many. A moon. Uh, you can swim. How
Knowing me,
far
I'd
is it?
probably go 500 miles backwards before I figured out how to go forward.
Sometimes it takes going backwards to go forwards because yeah, it's some things you got to learn before you get there. So I don't think I think most things it's okay to learn, and going at your own pace is good, but sometimes if you go too slow, you're going to be left behind. It's like I could have got on that boat, but I didn't go, and then you lost that opportunity. Uh, so a lot of the opportunities you lose are the ones you didn't take because remember with the mistake thing, you usually don't make mistakes. You just learn how not to do it again. I mean, it's different if it's a life and death situation, but yet taking a chance, and that's where a lot of people don't do. They don't take that chance to get to the other, and again, your surroundings, again, what are you doing and what are you going to do to get to the other side? I mean, you get up every morning and you start plugging to get to the other side, to whatever you're looking for that day. I mean, you're in constant movement to get better. Okay. And a lot of people don't have that motivation that you have. No one has to wake you up to get you going. You have self motivation, and some people don't. And they're
A
like,
lot of people think it's just going to happen.
well, it's not. Not usually. Not usually.
I had one of my friends, he goes, "Yeah, if the opportunity presents itself." I'm like, what the fuck was that? If the opportunity presents itself.
That's the person who's going to be there for a while. Should I get on that boat? Should I get on that
You
boat?
just
That
keep
boat's
waiting
right
there.
there. I could get on the boat and go to where I want to go, or I could just stay here and wait for a better opportunity. And sometimes waiting, can be good, but yet if you wait too long, you might miss the boat. There you go.
You guys are using a lot of boat metaphors today.
I know.
Oh. You want to use the boat one? Oh, the guys. Okay, like probably Jeff is better at explaining it. Oh yeah, there was a guy. He was out in the ocean and he was just swimming. Like he was like, oh man, he's praying. Like Lord help me. So a guy with a book comes along. He says, "Can I pick you up?" Oh no, God's
Right.
gonna save,
God's
God's
gonna
gonna
say,
save me. He's like, "Well, screw you." Then he takes off, and then another boat comes along with a big cruise ship and all this, people partying, whatever. You come on the boat. Like, no, no, God's gonna save me. All right. So the cruise ship takes away. So the guy ends up drowning. He goes to heaven. The guy's like super mad. Like, what happened? You were supposed to save me. And he was like, well, I sent you a boat. I sent you a cruise ship. Like, what do you want me to do? Understand your surroundings. Take advantage of whatever you have going on, right?
right, and look into it. I think I think that's the closed mind that somebody's going to save you, and you're not saving yourself right there. So take the opportunity when it arises because you don't know. Actually, you don't know when the next boat comes in. There's supposed to be another boat, but it doesn't matter. The boat's got to sail over there, bring the people over, and it might come back, but it might not. You
Oh
know,
yeah. So there's always something to keep in mind. So I don't know. I was just thinking about different language patterns people use. I bought this class to go to this AI summit, and these guys are well freaking trained on language patterns. Like, and the sad thing is, again, understanding your surroundings. Do you know what language pattern they're using when they're using it? Am I the only one that geeks out about this stuff? Like, I'll give you an example. So in this AI summit, um, I want to tell you the presenter was telling everybody how to make AI to have a book cover, right? And then, "Hey, everybody go to this website. I'm going to teach you about AI, and I'm going to talk about making book covers for a god awful long time. Like literally copy paste, put it in. Now you got a book cover. Conversation should have been 3 to 5 minutes tops, but she anyway, person spent 15-20 minutes talking about a damn book cover. And I was sitting there listening, going, when's this gonna get good? Like I can make a book cover in 2 seconds. Like, and then brings you to another website where you can make a mock-up, right? Okay, still this is the layup, right? I'm gonna the hook, line, sinker, is that what they call it? Okay, so now you have a mock-up of your face, a book cover, and it's on a book. AI presented this image to you. And then the presenter goes, I can teach you how to make that book if you buy my program. Where are all my future authors at? Because anybody that's going to own a business is going to want to have their own self-proclaimed book. And I've had people that have become bestsellers. So do you understand the the premise there of what just happened? Number one, if you haven't seen any of our videos about identity, identity is like the top of the pyramid, right? People behavior, if you want someone to change their behavior, you want to start with the identity level. Or if I take that back, if you could shift the identity level, then you will change your behavior. Or you could work yourself from the bottom up to change your behavior. But identity is like okay, so explain identity really quick. So if you were putting yourself in Superman's persona, right? Like, oh, I want to change my identity and I'm going to act as close to Superman as I can to get through whatever horrible situation that I have to go through. Oh my God, I got to go on stage and speak. I'm just going to put on my Superman cloak and go up there and speak because when I got my invisible, made up, in your mind Superman cloak, I'm going to go up there confident because I know Superman would go up there confident. Same thing they use with hypnosis with smoking. If you were Superman, Superman wouldn't smoke, right? So that's how you change your behavior is by, well, if you can move the identity, which is something Tony Robbins is amazing at. And then that's also what's happening here. I'm going to change your identity of being an entrepreneur to being an author so that you can then fulfill that identity by buying my program. And that's just one language pattern. That's one identity shift. That's one sneaky way to do it. And the reason it wasn't a 3-minute conversation is because it takes time. What we talked about earlier, other people learn different ways. And that's the one thing what's his face was talking about today. He was like, "Oh, my AI told me that I needed to talk slower because kinesthetic learners," he didn't say the word kinesthetic, he might as well have, kinesthetic need things repeated. These are the one, and he also said those are the ones that are more committed and will spend the most money on what you have to offer them. So that's how you change your presentation. Again, there's another layup, another mind hack. So those are two different ones. And that's there was more than that, but those were the two blatant ones.
Well, when you're speaking to an audience like that, when you got several people in the room, there's going to be the visual, auditory, kinesthetic, So what you do, you have to start with a lot of times with the big audience, you're going to start with the kinesthetic because you're going to lose those fast if you go into visual auditory or auditory visual first because they'll just zone out because they can't take it. So you work there and then you go to audio visual because now you're getting a little bit more, and then you go to visual and you go back and forth with that to keep the whole audience. Because when you start losing some of your audience and they're starting to get their phones up and they're here, it'll trickle down. So you just anyway.
Well,
But
that was another thing too. When I was doing the summit, it was a Zoom. It wasn't like you're in the audience, right? So they would constantly, to the point where it got annoying, um, say hello or where you're from in the chat. They would constantly have you react in the chat to make sure you were there and not,
right.
whatever else, your other screen was open or whatever, because they want you in lock with them. So it became 45 minutes of buy my program and 15 minutes of me.
Watch this. Watch this. This is probably what they
Well,
were doing. Hi, everybody. What's going on? Where are you at? Hey. Okay, my products is one of the best. Oh, so they're doing what I do in a show. Okay, so when I do a audience from like 2 years old to 60, 80 years old, the little ones within like I'm going to tell you probably with 3 to 5 minutes, if you don't give a little one, a 2 year old to 3 year old, some spark like energy, then you're going to lose them. So it sounds like sometimes when people go up there, they're moving like this to keep, a dangly thing in your eye. And then they're saying, hey, 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 where you at? Hey. And now they're asking you questions to keep you in tune. So you don't want, so they're kind of looking at you, trying to keep your attention. And I think that does happen. It would be more so on a big, like when Tony Robbins gets up there, you see the energy he's shooting out. I mean, like it's like bullets. If you get close to him, you probably go, "Whoo!" you know. Uh, but to keep 600 people in an audience, or even just a few hundred, that energy has to come out. And when you're like we were saying,
there's 700 people in this Zoom.
yeah, and when you're giving a speech again, you're going to have to hit all the visual, auditory, kinesthetics. You're going to have to, each one's an individual, or you'll just lose them. And the more you lose in an audience, if the other people can see the audience, and I don't know if they could, but if you can see each other, you can see when their faces go down or when they're on the phone and when they're disinterested. That makes other people want to join in on disinterest. So, and getting them involved is kind of how they'll keep them attract. But again, what it sounded like, buy this, buy this, buy this. Okay, here's something. Here's a little bit of buy this, buy this, and then at the end of this, we're going to give you a really good thing to keep you in. And
Oh,
they
that's
don't.
what they
They
did.
just keep
They
on
would pull
feeding
up
you.
these
Oh yeah.
boxes, like Amazon boxes. They'd pull them up. I can't tell you what's in here, but we're going to give these away today.
Later on,
I can't tell you when.
I can't tell you when, but if you're here, ready for it, and whoever asked for it first, when we say, "Hey,"
Yeah, my team won't. I know what's in it. Let me ask my team if I can find out what's in it. Like, okay, well, Oh, I can't tell you what's in it. So you're just gonna have to stick around and find out. And
Right.
then I had logged off and then logged back in, and this presenter was on stage saying, "Oh yeah, make sure that you can check out this website." And it's the one where it has her funnel page, $2,000 for the program. And then she would click on the boxes and stuff. Oh, let me know if you could click on the boxes on your end. Like, yeah, we know it works. Like, you want me to put the credit card in for you too?
You already have the algorithm as soon as they, you know, check it
Yeah.
out.
Oh yeah, as soon as you click on the link or you go to that page, I mean, your pixel, well, now every time you go back on Facebook or you go wherever they're advertising, pixels are usually Facebook and Instagram that you'll just never you'll see their ad until they stop running ads.
Mhm.
So they know it takes, well, from what I know, it takes 8 to 12 times for someone to want to purchase with you, right? And then the last summit that I went to, they're now saying it's 17 to 20 times.
And that
So
has to be positive, not negative, because when you knock it in a negative, it's going to have to start all over too.
so yeah. So and then they say a lot of things where I just want to, is that true? Can you answer this? Like, how real was that? Like, but it's not like y'all have a one-on-one conversation with these people. They'll just say whatever they want to say on the screen, and then I guess whatever falls off, And then again, like, would these people still be up on stage or still doing what they're doing if they weren't getting some sort of success or whatever? And then I keep A being this with another class that I purchased, and the guy was saying any coach out there that's helping, they should be able to tell you what their success rate is from their pool of students. So if nobody's telling you that, it's probably not a good idea to purchase the program. And well, I wish I would have had that information earlier because they promised all these things. And then you also have to keep in mind, because I am taking the classes on how to sell my own digital product because I want to help people, um, that you can't promise a monetary end result. Like, if you take this class, you'll make $1 million. I mean, if anybody knew how to do that, they wouldn't be selling you no freaking class, right? So you got to be really careful about, because the government does regulate what you are allowed to promise and what you're not allowed to promise. And I do have a recorded phone call with a salesperson from a certain individual, and I was told, I can't promise you anything. And I was like, you can't even promise me the hour or two the coach is going to spend in a Zoom room. I'm going to give you $8,000 to $9,000. You tell me you can't promise me anything. Like, if the guy's even going to show up. So you got to be careful about what angle. You got to be careful about who you're talking to. Because I don't think a regular person. I think that would have glossed over. But then these salespeople are supposed to be like top notch, right? Like, I'm already stumping you. Like, I guess I'm the only one that geeks out in language patterns like that. I don't know. Understand your surroundings. Ask the right questions. Um, there's no guaranteed results other than you just doubling down on yourself. Like, if they have proof that somebody can do it, well, then one person can do it. But what was their circumstances that they were able to do it? Did they have multiple people that were able to do it? Are you asking the right questions? Are you in a position to be where you need to be? Like, are you understand your surroundings?
Yeah, and another thing to look at is just because one person can do something doesn't mean the other person can do it. Because
Yeah,
it's a
because we're all individuals.
world. Yeah, we're all individuals, our map of the world and our skill levels. It would be like me trying to be you. It's not ever going to happen. I don't have enough time in my lifetime to become you, Scott. Uh, so I could never.
You don't want this.
Yeah, I don't want that. So,
I don't want this.
and a lot of times they say these people have done this and you don't know their circumstance. A lot of people say, well, this guy took this class, but they didn't give him that he'd already been doing it 10 years before they took the class. And they're just riding off his success already and said, this guy went from making 1 million to 7 million. And his company was going to do that anyway within time. It's just that it, probably did give it a boost. Yet they didn't get the credit for the 10 years before that he did all the stuff. An overnight success is usually about 10 years. So, guys, when you're thinking about it, Scott does not sit on his butt all day and do nothing. He gets up and every day he works, so it's not,
Talking to people like that are like this all day. It's so frustrating.
well,
Oh,
again,
stop finding these people. I
I,
try and do this. It's like I'm a bad guy.
well, you know, do what today with what other people won't do to have what other people won't have in the future. So basically, plant your seeds today and they will grow into tomorrow. Of course, I'm not sure who said that right now, but I have heard that before. So,
Well, if anybody's still watching or listening, the new YouTube channel is amazing. It's the future.
the
Anyway,
what?
the new YouTube channel, where all I do is talk about AI.
Yeah,
I mean, I could just live in that channel. It's so fun.
you're going to live there.
Hey,
Trans
yeah, try and tell DJs. I just be like, hey, I just had a payment come in while I'm on this call, so it's not like you have to. It's about setting it up and letting the freaking thing operate while you go do something else. It's like how many things can you have running where you just have to go by, with a clipboard. Okay, okay, you go to the next one.
yeah, set your life up. And again, assess your life, I would say, and see if you want to be on that next boat.
Oh yeah,
Stay
yeah,
where you're at.
yeah. You can't get people to move that don't want to move. So it doesn't even matter how much value. That's the thing I find sad, really, is that I've spent all this time to learn all this crazy stuff, and it's just oblivious to most people. Like they don't like all the stuff I explained, like in this, just even here, like like to talk to people, I have to like they'd have to understand what I just explained to the way I understand it in order to get them to move. So it's like I don't have all this time to explain why this is true. At the same time, the other person is trying to tell me or give me suggestions or something like that when they don't even understand, the stuff I just explained. Right. So it's frustrating.
Well,
It's
on
like
that,
we're
I would say what we want to do is find our tribe so they'll get on the boat with us and they can ride with us to the other side. And let's start, working together to make a better tomorrow. You know,
yeah. So yeah, I gotta start finding people.
well, takes time.
Sure does.
There was a lull.
Yeah, I
No,
don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe maybe one day there'll be a ton of people watching this thing asking silly questions, and yeah, I don't know. When I make my first million, they'll be asking me how I do it. I don't know. Maybe I have to make 10 million. Like, oh yeah. Well,
I would.
I tried telling you bastards like years ago.
I'm sure you already made your first million.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, over 5 years. I want to make. Let's try to do it in a year instead of another five.
Yeah, yeah.
It's only 19,230 a week, or 83,333 a month. I just have those numbers.
See what he focuses on, he'll find. And that's it. What are you focusing on in your life to get you to where you want to go? And and you know, taking that boat, write down all the things it would take to get in that boat and what would you need to do to get to that boat so you could go to the other island.
So what is today? Today is the 15th, right? I've signed 14 contracts this month. Over there was only a day, there was a couple days where I had three on the ninth, three on the ninth, and then I had a couple days of not. So I've signed well, basically a contract every single day this month.
Not too shabby.
And then I have DJs that are like, have you seen any of the results from the work you put in? Time to
Well,
talk to somebody else. Can't help people if they don't want to be helped.
that's true. And yeah,
So what do you do with that? The paradox. You want to help somebody, but like as a hypnotist, right? Your whole most of your job, 90% of your job, big part of your job, like you all hypnosis is helping self-hypnosis, right? And 90% of your job is just to get people to get out of their own way. So I guess you only find people that are sick of the same results. So do you think people are just roaming around and they just think the world is the way it like how does that work, right? Like, oh,
threshold.
I gotta be so fed up with whatever the hell's going on to find somebody to help me out and then believe somebody who's a hypnosis can help me out, which they're not really helping you out other than helping you to help clear out your own roadblocks, right?
Well, the thing is,
Like, how would you explain that?
I would say, really, to anyone who wants to change, are you at threshold? Something has to change. It has to be you, and it has to be now. If you're not there, if you're not there, it's going to be hard. And we can't make anyone change unless we have leverage over them, whatever leverage you have. Other than that, if you have no leverage over a person, you can't make them change. Now, if they want to change, they can come to us and we can help them change pretty easily. But we want them. One thing to say is, where are you at on this decision you want to, whatever you want to do? Are you at 80%, 90%, or 100%? Are you at 50%? Now, if you're at 50%, don't even come to me till you're at 80, because more than likely you're not going to do it. And then we go into, even with, we go into a little NLP and give them the well-formed outcome. Is this really what you want? And we break it down with the meta model going, what would that do for you? So wherever you're going, the more reasons you have to get there, and then you could say, where do you want to be in 2 years? And then you can say there. And then you map it out backwards. And this is a little roadmap that the things you'd have to do to get on that damn boat. You know?
Well, when does it turn into what you were saying versus what this other coach was saying, where it was like, well, you have to decide now. Are
No,
you getting
that's
on the,
that's a no,
and then it
no,
was like,
no,
and it
no.
was like shaming people as in, well, if
That
you can't
is
make
no,
it work,
that's a
you're just not committed enough.
that's a sales technique, which is bashing somebody instead of giving, how dare you? Well, what you're a loser if you don't do this. Now that's hitting their self-esteem. They're hitting your your esteem buttons. If you're not doing this, why not? Basically they're doing a hard sell instead of a soft sell to say, what do you want? Is this something that would help you? And are you
Okay,
willing to do the work to get there? If you're
so
not, they're not being honest. If these guys, no matter what they buy, and you already talked yesterday, or I talked to you yesterday about it, that only, when you sell a product and they go to your class and you sold the class, only like 60%, if you're lucky, will use that product. A lot of times they go to a convention, they never use any of the information they learn, and it just sits on a shelf. I can tell you, how many master's degree do master's certificates? I mean, 10 or 15 at least, you know, master's certificates. And do I use them all every day? No. But what it does change you as all this education makes it where we can understand more. But are these people going to do what it takes to get there? We can't make them do it. So,
so
threshold.
there's the whole shaming them versus like, well, you can say whatever you want to somebody who's not going to buy because you'll never see them again.
Right.
And that's one of the things you learn in sales. Like if you're a cold caller, say whatever you want. I mean, what's the chances of you talking to this person again?
Well, I don't believe that either because then you go and what we say to each other, how's that working for you? If you're not getting
Well,
any
if you get people to
success from
book
it,
and they don't complain once they get in,
well,
because you can just turn around and say something like, well, the material's there. You're just not applying yourself, Sally.
well,
Or
again,
if it works for this guy, and this guy, I mean, Gary Vee was on stage. I mean, what's wrong with you?
well, again, before you go into all this stuff what people are telling you, we want to get our self-confidence, who we are, and understand who we are because again, it's an I statement. Your identity is who you are, and without, you know, living within your values, getting your self-esteem, and then you're going to work and say, people who tell you what you must, ought to, or should do are people you might not want to listen to. They would want to give you options. Here are the options you can do, and this is how other people have done it. If you do not want to put this work in, you're not going to get with these other people. And I can't even guarantee you, with all the knowledge, I'm going to say that a certain amount of people are going to make it. And they're not even going to the step after that is we're trying to pick up the people who are almost already there and we're just giving them a hand up. They're not saying we're taking somebody who doesn't know shit and we're going to make them this. No, because we're going these guys, what you're talking about, are trying to sell them something every step of the way so they can make more money. And that's their deal. It's not that they're looking after their pocketbook and selling this. We can sell you anything you want as long as we're getting money instead of that they really care that you get to the next step. So again, watch the people you hang around with. And are they your tribe? And are they bringing you where you need to go the next step? Are they taking you in that boat and bringing you to the island you didn't want to go to?
But if you're not moving, you'll never find out or never know.
Right. But
It's
then,
a catch 22.
well, you're on without okay, without movement, you're stagnant and stopped. So even it's faster, even if you go the wrong way to make a turn or a U-turn to go the other way. But when you're stuck, you're stuck. So we want to get you unstuck first and then figure out where you're going. And when you, just like in a boat or in a plane, you have to sometimes go to the left or the right, not to hit a storm or hit a big old rock in the middle of the ocean. So there are, but if you're going towards your goals, remember for happiness, again, we can throw that in a little bit here, is when you find purpose and meaning in your life, you'll have more happiness. If you can be thankful for the things, even on the way to the journey of what you want, and also having that self-esteem that you're actually working for something, getting up and doing the thing, moving towards your goals like you do every day. You get up and I think every once in a while you take a day off, which is okay, a day of rest, good, because sometimes we have to sharpen our axe to get a little bit more gumption. We're not saying never sharpen your axe, but also, and that's a reference, you just, if we reference so many sayings, but basically, if you don't sharpen your axe, it's going to be harder to cut down that tree. In the same way, if you never take a break and you don't have any me time or any happiness time, then you could get where you get burnout, and you don't even go up. So you do have to watch all those. So where are you at? Where's your focus? Is it just like this, or are you being open-minded to the new surroundings and understanding that sometimes we have to get on that boat if we want to go to the next level? And a lot of people will never take that boat, and that's okay for them. And yet, if you want to get on that boat, what would it take when you get to the other side? So, what are you going to do before you get on the boat to have the things you need on the other side? So, because you want to have the skills and stuff sometimes, and sometimes it's you can learn the skills on the other side. Get there and then go. Don't wait too long or you'll miss the boat.
So that clears it up.
That was just a round circle, wasn't it?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, guys, I think that's pretty much it for today.
Woohoo!
What do they call it? We are disembarking.